So when it comes to training for a specific time goal, it's really important to start testing out race pace, seeing how it feels. And at week 5, that's where we're at. Those workouts are starting to come into play. So now we're going to be seeing how fit we are. What is up guys, Andy Forrest, Team Runner here. Welcome back to another video, and this is week 5 of this 10K training series. So we're well into phase 2 now of this training block, slowly moving towards phase 3, which isn't too far away, only in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and just shy of halfway through this 12-week plan. Excited to share with you today how Goal Race Pace goes, because that is exactly what this week's featured workout is all about, and I'm going to let myself explain exactly what's on the card. So if you're excited for this video guys, and excited to see the featured workout, please give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and let's dive in and see how we got on.
Alright, so good morning and welcome to this week's featured workout, and this week is all about testing out race pace, or close to. So what I've got today is 4 by 6 minutes, and the notes in the workout from Will say just above goal race pace. Speaking of Will, let's hear what we've got this week.
Right then, Radar. Looking at last week, I think you saved it. We knew you weren't well, and I think we did the best we could possibly do, given you were fatigued off that naughty race, but also all those illnesses. Good job, we get it again this week. But what is this week? So, on Monday, we're going straight back to what we used to do with our VO2 max session. We're into phase 2 now, so in week 5, and we're looking at slightly longer reps, so not so much looking at the really short end. We're starting to add a little bit of volume and starting to look more kind of 10K specific workouts. For the Monday session, you've got a 2K effort. It's going to be kind of around that 4 to 5 mile race pace effort, 3-minute rest. Then you've got 2 sets of 800 meters, 90-second rest, 3 by 400 meters, 75 seconds rest. That 800 meters is going to be like a 3 to 5K effort, and 400 meters is going to be a smidge quicker. You only got a short rest off them, so they're going to be quite aerobic, hence they're not like that top end where we're looking at kind of 1500 meter pace plus. After all of that, got a 90-second rest, and finish off with a 6 by 200 meters of 60 seconds. Again, kind of like that mile stride pace, all nice and aerobic, but it's going to get those legs turning off that mega fatigue. Wednesday, I'm assuming you're going to be hitting the trails, and we've got some long efforts. We've got 4 by 6 minutes, 90 seconds, 4 by 30 of 60 seconds. Again, those 6 minutes are really going to be targeting that 10K kind of feel effort. It's just going to be just above 10K effort, because it's only really 24 minutes of juicy volume there, which is a bit shorter than your 10K, but it's going to be a chance to be working at that kind of goal pace rather than the pace you were currently at. It's going to be a great one, have fun. And then as ever, on the Saturday, we've got our long run / tempo run. It's going to be 30 minutes steady, and then you're going to move into 3 sets of 10 minutes at tempo, 60-second light jog. After that, it's going to be about 30 minutes steady, 2-minute light jog, and then 4 times 20 seconds at stride pace, and a little jog back. Assuming it's going to take you just over an hour and a half. Going to get a nice 13-14 miles in. Have a fun one, and let me know how you get on this week.
So I've obviously already done a Monday session now, because it is Wednesday. Monday session went really well, quite happy with it. Well, I say really well, it went well, solid without being spectacular. So today is all about practicing race pace. We're in week 5 now, and we're about to see kind of where we are. So he wants just above race pace. Now I'm out on the industrial estate, and I know this course is down, flat, and then up the other side, so it's like running in a bowl. So I know, equivalent to race pace, I can drop a few seconds a mile here, because it's always a little bit harder to hit race pace in this section than it is out on a flat course. Goal race pace is my last PB was 5:23 per mile, so the goal today is going to be late 5:20s, because obviously I want to be running more like 5:22, 5:21, 5:20 per mile for a PB. That's the goal. So anywhere sort of from 5:25 to 5:30, 5:35 will be happy, and we'll see how we get on. I have completely overslept today, so I am running really late. I've had to do a 5-minute warm-up. I'm going to have to get on with the workout, and then I'm going to have to do a quick 5-minute cool down. So we'll see how we get on. Obviously there's 4 by 30 seconds in there as well. Just spin the legs at the end, and as Will said in last week's video, just sort of practice that final race kick. So without further ado, I can't waffle anymore because I've got to get on with this. Let's roll in to the first 6-minute rep. hello. 5:28 for that first one. Can't complain at that. That felt pretty darn good. Happy. Let's roll into the next one. Rep number 2, 5:25 per mile. Amazing. So 1 and 3 are probably more average up, 2 and 4 probably more average down. So I expect 2 and 4 to be a bit quicker, but overall, really good. There we go, rep 3 done, 5:25. Again, starting to get a bit of a stitch. I'll explain why shortly. I had a drink just before I came out, but let's see if we can get the last one done before the stitch really takes hold. Incredible, 5:21, over the moon, feel really good. Let me get this 4x30 done, I'll explain the stitch. There we go, 4x30's done, and that is the workout complete. So I had some Victor Sport pre-run drink. You have it 15 minutes before, and with this whole hydration thing.
So just before I was rudely interrupted there by the GoPro battery dying that time of year, cold weather, GoPro batteries do not last a long time. I was trying to say I managed to kind of hold off that stitch issue, but I did have a little something there. I was able to work through it, and that was just by easing off at the start of the final rep, sort of nose breathe in, really inflate the diaphragm, and then quite forcefully breathe out, deflate the diaphragm, and just do that for sort of 30 seconds or so, and then I pick the pace back up. And it's great to work through that and then get out the other side feeling good. And that was all down to the fact that I had a drink before I went out. This is hydration, my hydration issue, everything I'm trying to sort, trying to work on. What I've been doing since London Marathon, just for those of you who aren't aware, I really struggle to drink when I run. I get stitches, I get a lot of stomach pain, it's a nightmare. What I've promised myself over winter before going into my next marathon block is I focus on hydration. That's been the form of taking some fluids on easy runs, just plain water, taking some electrolyte drinks out on long runs, and so far I've only missed one long run where I haven't taken any fluid out, but other than that I've taken fluid out on every single long run, and I've scattered it in a few easy runs. And now what I've started to try and do is drink before sessions, and this Victus sports drink, which I absolutely love and is incredible. I had 15 minutes before I went out for my run, and normally what would happen is I would probably have stitched up within the first rep. So I'm seeing massive progress already by the fact that I got towards the end of the session before it happened. And this is for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm just practicing, trying to train my stomach. But number two, my posture. All the strength training I'm doing is making a massive, massive difference. I'm holding myself more upright. I don't feel like I'm hunching over, neck jutting out, back curling over, crushing the diaphragm, crushing everything in that stomach region, and really making it harder for my body to digest everything and just cramping everything up down there. That's such a big issue for me. So by staying more taller, more open, everything feels like it digests better. I've just not had any, in fact that was the first stitch issue I've had since drinking, since London Marathon. So I'm taking it as a really positive sign, just learning how to deal with it, learning how to run through it. I'm sure a lot of you out there do get occasional stomach issues when you do drink when you're out there, and it's just about how you deal with it, how you manage it. And just as I said, by easing off for 30 seconds and just in through the nose, out through the mouth, and I still managed to clock the fastest rep time, but that was just a case of taking a breather at the start, 30 seconds, and then really putting the hammer down at the end. So it was really positive, and that's what I was trying to explain basically before the GoPro died. So obviously the whole premise of this video is to talk a little bit about practicing goal race pace, and I feel it's such an important part of our training that we go through. I do it a lot in previous training blocks. I'm doing it now with Will, which is great. I just love to see where I'm at. It just allows me to see roughly where fitness is. We all have our own running routes. We know how that translates onto a race course. I know where I run in the industrial estate. There's a 400-500 meter segment which is pretty much flat, but then we're like in a bowl, it goes up either end. So I know that if I run, as I said earlier, 5:25 to 5:35, I can shave a few seconds off that when I'm out there on race day. We all know sort of the landscape we run on and how that then translates to the road. So to be able to clock those 5:20 times out there for 6 minutes a pop was absolutely brilliant. So I pretty much covered almost 75-80% of the 10K distance, very close to what my goal race pace is meant to be. Slightly slower, but overall, that's exactly what Will wanted. That's exactly how I felt, and it just felt so good. So really promising signs, and I think that's just a good indicator and a good confidence boost as we go through training blocks to drop these race pace sessions in. It just allows us to adjust goals if we need to. If we're way off the mark, we know that maybe our potential race pace that we've got coming up might be slightly unrealistic, and we just need to dial it back and we go again for that in another training block. Or it might show us that we're way fitter than what we had anticipated, and we can adjust things accordingly. For me, when it comes to marathon, I don't try and adjust stuff if I'm way fitter. Just try and get the job done and then move on next time. But for 10Ks, I do tend to adjust depending on how I'm feeling, because you can have multiple cracks at a 10K during a training block. For me right now, what this has indicated is I'm pretty much exactly on course where I want to be. I'm very close, if not in the same shape I was when I set my 33:38, which is great. And what I'd hope is that if there was a 10K either this coming weekend or the coming weekend after, which there might be, I don't know yet, I'm trying to find one, it would be great to see how close I am to that current PB pace. So that's the goal. That's kind of where I feel currently fitness is at, and that's really the purpose of dropping in these sessions. So other than that, it's been an absolutely fantastic week. Really happy with how it's been, and mileage has gone up. So we're now in the 50-mile range, and we are stepping things up, and then towards the end of December, we'll be back up there in the 60s. As I've said before, and as Will has told me, we need to be really patient with this. When you're increasing intensity, it's really important to not increase volume at the same time. I've echoed this before on the channel. Everyone will echo it. You shouldn't really do intensity and volume at the same time. So I have been very comfortable down in the 40-mile weeks. That's allowed me to really focus on strength training as well. So I'm not too tired when it comes to the strength work, and the combination so far has been really good. So we'll see how we do when we get to 50 miles, and then of course we'll be pushing up into the 60s towards the end of December and into January as we peak. So full training can be found on my website. The link will be below. In my 10K training blog, the current weeks are up there up to week 4, and hopefully by the time this video is out, I'll have added week 5. If it's not, be patient, I'll get there in the next day or two, but hopefully it will all be up there for you guys to check out. And of course, it's all on Strava. Links are in the description. You can follow me on Strava, Instagram, all the other social media platforms, and of course, check out the website for full training details. That's it for this week, guys. I appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.